just take action is bullshit. What? Why the just take action motto is bullshit. Want results? Just take action. Just take action. You will create everything you dream and hope for. Wouldn't it be nice if that's all we had to do? Because that's all we gotta do. Anyway, easy peasy. Although some people may disagree with me, but I call bullshit. Ooh, because if that were easy, then Nike and their Just Do It talent would have the whole personal development market cornered, and we would all be in great shape, have a successful business or career, and hustle for dreams. That's not the case now, is it? So there has to be a little bit more to it. Now, we all know that we need to take action to get shit done. Yeah, of course, bro. And we need to get shit done in order to create the results we want in life. Yeah. Well, it's not about, in my opinion, getting shit done. I think it's about going with the flow, the process and stuff. Yeah. So of course, taking action is important. Yep. It's that big step that none of us be taking. The way to go about it is even more important. Ooh. Okay. So I'm all for it, but I just want you to take action the right way. Okay, so, hello guys, I'm Helladillion, and it's time to talk about argument. I don't really do this, so this really does make a lot of sense and everything to me, because taking action is super important, because it's about a big step that people really avoid. So, all the just take action quotes. Here's where it starts. Quotes and posts from all successful people telling us that taking action is key to the promised land. Ain't nothing guaranteed. Why? The hell? We've all seen or heard them. Shit, most of us even rely on those daily, weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. I feel bad for people that rely purely on motivation. It's not a bad thing to rely on motivation in general. It's just that, the whole thing with, oh man, I'm gonna do it when I feel like it. I'm gonna do it when I feel ready. And that's the problem right there. Because, dude, it should have to take you just be like, oh, I'm feeling good, I'm gonna do it. And then, stop doing it about 3 minutes after, because happiness returns to the baseline. Okay? So, success doesn't just happen. It happens to those that take action. Yes! That is true! Action is the key to success. I'll just talk about it. Take action. Okay? I agree with this, and this, and this, right there. Wait. Well, you might want to reword that, because consistent action is the key to success. Well, I guess they do say action in general, but, whatever. So, the path to success is to take massive action. No! That shit is wrong! Because, see, listen, coming from a person who wants to be super successful of himself, and is kind of is right now, massive action, to let you guys know right now, is when you do stuff, like you just encase into the most extremist thing of all the time that you're not good at all. So that's like me going to Blender and trying to make a teacup. That's not good, because I don't know how to use Blender. That's why you got to take smaller steps and stuff. That's also how you build discipline and stuff, and just consistent action and everything. So that's where a lot of people mess up. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. This has to be the most truest quote of all time, and so on. It's not that I don't agree. I do believe that taking action is critical when it comes to getting the results you want, but like most quotes or personal development advice, I think that they should come with a disclaimer. Because left as standalone advice can actually help your progress prevent you from getting the results you want. How so? Well, let's take a look at the problems so I can explain. The problems of the just take action motto. What if you are taking action and not getting the results you want? What if you're taking all this action and not getting anywhere? So you keep spinning your wheels by taking all this unproductive action? Sounds silly to me. Whereas Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Nibba. Oh, remember that. Remember that. Expectation. Some people may continue to take the same actions again and again without getting results, but that eventually happens when your action taking doesn't bear fruit. Let me tell you, you get frustrated and disappointed. You feel like shit. You feel like you're a failure. You stop. So listen, the whole you feel like shit thing, okay? We're gonna talk about that before I do. Let's talk about the whole thing I just highlighted. So expecting different results. So the thing that I've learned at the end of last year is that you can't expect a lot from everything, especially life, because to be quite honest, the economy and everything in the universe will not work the way it wants you to. And that's why it's important for you to ask the bare minimum, because good things will happen if you do that and you don't try to force them so much. It's like, oh, it has to happen. It's basically called letting yourself be. If you just, not force anything and you don't expect a lot from whatever happens. That's why, we get upset whenever we do something and it feels like we're not making anything, because we expect the whole kind of big thing from it. And that's the biggest problem that a lot of people face. Now, you feel like shit. You feel like a failure. You stop. So, hold on, I won't talk about that because it does get repeated in each of the things, so I will explain that. What if you are taking action and getting good results, but you don't know how or why? The point of taking action is see what works and what doesn't. You won't know if you don't intentionally reflect and evaluate. Most people don't. So what if you are learning all this action taking? So what happens when your good results stop working all together? You get frustrated, disappointed, confused, you feel like shit, you stop. So the problem with what you said there is that you don't have to always know why you do things, because what we do and the reason why we do it comes from the fact that it's part of our character. So the way we are can be like the reason why we do things and stuff. So you don't have to always know, you don't have to have a great reason for why you do what you do. Okay? A lot of people, think about blah, 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 blah. Problem 3. What if you start taking action and then don't feel like it anymore? What if all of a sudden you're starting a great action plan, but you're not feeling like doing it anymore? What happens when the initial excitement, inspiration, and motivation wanes? What happens when you get stuff, you don't feel like taking action anymore? Let me tell you what happens. You feel like shit, you feel like stop. This? Problem 3. I think it's problem 3 or 4 is when I get mad, because I will go back to problem 3 and stuff, so yeah. Problem 4. What if you actually can't get yourself to take action? What if you know the action to take, but you aren't actually taking it? What then? You're screwed for life. So many of us encounter this issue. We know what we need to do, but you have a hard time actually doing it. So if you can't even get started, how are you supposed to see end result? You feel like shit, you feel like you are a failure because you can't get started, you stay stuck. Problem 5. Then you need to take massive action, can overwhelm you. Yeah. But let me still read it though. When things feel so big that they overwhelm us, we usually avoid instead of embracing them. If just the thought of having to create this massive action taking doesn't feel good to you, then you probably aren't going to do it. Or if you do, you won't do it for very long. And what happens then? You feel like shit, you feel like you're failing, you stay stuck. So hold on. Let me read this. More harm than good. Now you see some of the problems I have with the whole just take action thing. Yes, you have to take action, but you have to do it the right way, because if you don't do it, you become a hidden emotional shitstorm that keeps you stuck instead of being it keeps you like progress. So you listen. The problem, the fact that every end of problem, he says, if you feel like shit, you feel like failure, you stop. So let me tell you. And I know Google AI isn't so reliable, but do bear with me. Okay, so listen. Action does not require motivation. You bitch ass to be confusing that shit. It's always the whole waiting to feel like doing it, waiting to do this. My physical body is the only thing that speaks on that. If I'm physically tired, then I'm not gonna do it. I know what to do. But bro, listen, you don't have to feel so good to do something, because when you act, you then feel. Motivation comes from what you do, not just you. get it, blah, 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 blah. Also comes from when you basically watch like YouTube videos and, you know, stuff that really gets the creative juices going and stuff. So yeah. Oh man, I'm not scared of, you know, how hard the thing is to do. It's just that, blah, 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 blah. I gotta feel motivated. I gotta feel energized to do it. Bro, you don't have to feel like doing it, because the point is you do it and it don't matter, bro. You don't have to feel motivated to do what you want to do or what you don't want to do. If the thing is boring, then so be it. Okay? That's the problem. The reason why action does not require motivation is because action often precedes and generates motivation rather than following it. Waiting for inspiration causes stagnation, while taking a small deliberate steps even without feeling like it creates momentum, builds discipline, and triggers the dopamine need to continue. So, about 3 things right here. So, if you just start small, like just the smallest things, like set up everything that you need to do, like everything required for the task you're trying to do, just simply set them up. Basically, make the barrier to entry less excruciating. You can do that. That's called taking small steps. Like with every big thing, and bro, this is how the rich people are here. They had to start off with small things that they never thought they would get to where they are now. And that's why we always look at the past and be like, man, how did I get from here to here? And that's the thing. It came from when you least expected. So the thing is, the article is right about taking intentional action. Now, it didn't get way too much into the point and stuff like that, but you get what I mean by that. But yeah, it is important to take action with intention. Intention does not have to have a very big reason and stuff. If you want to do it, like feel like it, or blah, 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 like just do it, and bro, I want to do it. So yeah. Now, another thing is that when you take the very small steps, okay, you build momentum, and the momentum would be like just, you know, you keep doing it. That's momentumums. It also builds discipline, which is awesome because discipline is basically consistent action every time. That's it. That's discipline. If I were to say I'm disciplined in what I do, I'm saying that I do what I love to do every time. It's so rare for me to go one day not doing it. Hell, I do it even when I'm sick. So yeah, discipline. And that's the thing, bro. You have to take small steps to go to the big leagues. That's how you do it. It always starts with a small thing. That's why the small things matter, but we take those for granted. So yeah. Now, you also don't need dopamine to take action. So, dopamine is a bitch for people with ADHD. So, the thing with people with ADHD is that their dopamine receptors are more damaged than people who are neurodivergent. It's very upsetting how, you know, just dopamine, like, blah, 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 blah. You know, so you don't need dopamine, because all it takes is for you to take action, and then you will feel good from it, okay? Discipline, habits, cognitive control, okay? Discipline, consistent action, habits, choose the things that will benefit you, cognitive control, do things that help you think a certain way, and stuff like that. So yeah, you shouldn't wait to feel. You just start. In perfection, nothing has to be perfect. Time don't gotta be perfect for you to start. It don't matter. You doing it matters. So yes, discipline, visualization, and small things. Take baby steps, and then you'll be there. You will. So yes. Now let's go back here. So you don't have to feel a certain way to do something, okay? You don't have to. You need to take better action. Here are the steps. Effective action and everything. Frustration, more stuckness. So yeah, start with better goal setting. Okay, you know? Okay, here we go. Need that reason. Okay, important you. It's not hard to know why you want to do things and everything. It says here, it starts to build commitment for any goal that doesn't have a big enough why behind it. But bro, you don't need a big reason to do what you do. I want to lose, no, I don't need to lose weight. I want to build some muscle because, bro, I've been skinny my whole life. So I want to build some muscle. I don't need a big why. It's so obvious. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And the reason is simple, not complex. So yeah. So step 2, create a better action plan. Again, most people can create very superficial, effective plans when they're trying to accomplish something. When I create an action plan, I like to look at this way. I list all the things that I know I would get me to my goal. List everything I already need to do to make reaching that goal result 100% unavoidable and sure thing. I list as many things as I think of go. It's a great detail. I add to the list as I think. Avoiding more things. The next thing to do is to make a list of all the things I need to avoid or not do in order to make reaching that goal result 100% unavoidable sure thing. All the obvious things that I know would prevent or delay me reaching my goal. Once I do that, I now have a solid plan of action in place to move to the next step. So listen, whenever you do something different from what you usually do, that's basically you making a choice. And there's nothing has to incline you. Nothing has to make you feel like making a decision or choice. Because do big decisions, yes, but small choices of little action does not require any choice, because it does not. All right, that causes overthinking, and that is the problem. So step 3, implement. Now that you have listed everything you need to know, you need to do and not do to reach your goal, it's time to get into the game. It's all laid out for you, so move forward with your action plan. Here we go. But here's where most people make a mistake. They think it'll be smooth sitting down now that they start taking action. It won't. You need to do it differently. You should implement your plan knowing, expecting that the action you take will be messy and full of failures. So yeah, but I don't always expect to fail something, nor do I expect to succeed, because I don't think so much about either of them. Okay, that's why I've just said that when you do something, don't expect a lot from what you do, because bro, that just causes pressure and stress. So don't expect a lot from blah blah blah. Just do what you can, what you want, and yeah. So that's the point. So commit to taking imperfect action and learn by doing. With the intent of getting the feedback, you need to ultimately create success. Awesome. I like step 3. Evaluate with intention. Reflect and determine what's working, what isn't. But here is a little warning. We always want to jump to strategies and tactics to see what plan is working and figure out what we need to do differently. And sometimes it is your strategy or plan of action, but most of the time it's your current way of thinking. Good. Read that again. It's your current way of thinking. Most of the time, it isn't the action that is failing, because it's your thoughts and beliefs about taking the action that needs to work. It's overthinking. That's it. I used to always complicate everything because, you know, I would avoid. But now I don't avoid because I just take the little steps in perfect action. It doesn't matter. I do what I want. So for example, let's just say that you're trying to lose weight, but it isn't happening. Is it the actual diet that's failing, or is it how you feel about the way you're eating that's leading to the results? Enough said, bro. It's the way you're thinking. Commit to taking a good hard work at both your actions and your mindset. So the mindset, listen closely, guys. So the mindset that I've adopted is a gracious mindset, like gratitude and stuff. Basically a positive mindset. I don't crave for drama. I don't crave for negativity. I'm positive every time. Okay, that's the thing. I lift myself up whenever I feel down. You know, it's just small lapses of feeling down, like emotion, blah, 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 like boredom and all that stuff and pressure and everything. So the mindset that you adopt is super important, bro. It is so crucial. If you have a good mindset of gratitude and everything, you'll do fine. You're ready. So determine what's really working or not. And now that you have determined what's not working, it's time to change something. If you think it was a strategy or action plan, it's time to decide on a new one and put it through that same process. But if you keep changing your actions but your results don't change, that's a clue. You can't create different results from the same way of thinking. Oh God. So when you realize that it's your mindset, thoughts, and beliefs that need changing, then it's time to get intentional and learn how to think on purpose. Because once you realize that your results come from your thinking, the game starts to change. And that, my friends, is how you do it. Enough said. Probably about the only thing that I've disagreed with this article is how when it comes to not major things you're doing, you don't have to think about why you do what you do and blah blah blah. But I don't think the article is like really leaning towards that and stuff. So that's the thing. But step 5 is very important because it acknowledges that it's in our head of why we don't do things, and you guys overthink a lot. So yeah, don't worry, I just do it too. So yeah, that's how you take better action to get better results. The shift happens when you can learn how to create the thoughts that serve you best on purpose and create an action plan to match. Don't think, just do, guys. Your thoughts don't mean anything. They're not real. So go create your action plan. Get out there and kick ass, take names, and conquer the world. Just don't take action in a vacuum. Yeah.